Hello, hello. Before I film this video and before I post it, I'm going to be setting a really strong intention that this video reaches whoever needs to hear it. So odds are if this came across your feed, there's something in here that you could benefit from hearing. Um, so recently I've been feeling really pulled to share more about my healing journey. I've been on a journey of self-transformation and just personal improvement for the past 3-4 years. Um, and tonight I want to talk about something really significant that has, changed the game for me. And that was being able to alchemize my greatest fear into my greatest asset, more or less. So, for some necessary backstory, I grew up and spent most of my life as the biggest people pleaser with little to no self-confidence at all. I struggled with addiction all my life, from food, alcohol, weed, cigarettes, shopping, any sort of consumption you can imagine, I struggled with. Um, and this is part of the reason why I was able to conquer a lot of that. So one of my greatest fear, actually probably my number one greatest fear that I always had growing up, was the ocean. Sharks, anything like that lived in the ocean really freaked me out, but also just like the image of just open ocean, being out there underwater with nothingness, or even above the water and just nothing but water. That used to freak me out to the degree that, like, if I came across a picture of a shark online or on TV, or even literally just like waves at the ocean, I wouldn't be able to sleep without, every time I closed my eyes, I would see it and I would have to stand up and like walk around my room and like ground myself to the reality that I was in, because like my mind would go like convince me I was in the middle of the ocean and my body could not rest. I would even I wouldn't be able to shower because I would be locked in a box surrounded by water. So I would have to cover my entire bathroom floor with towels, and I would like run into the shower, wash an arm, run out, ground myself, like, control my anxiety, and then like run back in, wash a leg, like come back out. It was a whole process, all from literally seeing like a picture of the ocean or of a creature or something that lived in the ocean. It was really significant. It really impacted my life in a pretty irrational way, I'll admit that, but it was a big part of, of my childhood and my life. And then through years of guidance and meditation and intention on healing, one of the biggest things that I realized, or came to find, was that fear represented stillness, emptiness, uncertainty, lack of control. Because when you're out in the ocean, that image that was always in my mind was like out, like just the big open ocean. It was still, it was empty. I wasn't in my comfort zone, obviously. That's not I'm a land creature. That's not my natural habitat. Um, something could hurt me out there, something that has the upper hand on me, something that swims where I am not a strong swimmer. So that fear was really deeply rooted in all of those things. And I also was able to realize that my many addictions were, running from any sort of stillness or discomfort or emptiness, always filling something, any sort of consumption I could, find. I was always, overdoing it with, because I was running from emptiness, from stillness. And first of all, just realizing that was a huge step and really, really helpful. And then after that, I was able to, sit with that in my meditations. I would picture myself out there in the ocean, and I would sit there, and, when you're meditating, I would be doing deep breathing, so getting my nervous system in a very calm, safe place and feeling okay. And then I would picture myself out there in the open ocean, underwater, nothing around me, and I would picture myself playing, swimming, enjoying myself, letting go of the fear, not freaking out, wondering what was gonna come up out of nowhere and get me, or what was going to happen if things stayed still too long, like waiting for, you know, the bad thing to happen. I would just picture myself enjoying it, having fun. And I did that repeatedly. It was a long process, but I am so happy to say that it has been so helpful in my overconsumption and all of my addictions in any aspect, even, you know, scrolling on my phone. Like, that's another thing that would, you know, fill the time, fill the space, fill the stillness. Anything that I use to do that, I've had a lot more control over it now, and I found myself in a much healthier place because of being able to realize where my greatest fear was really rooted in and how that impacted me on a daily basis. So, basically just wanted to share that because I think like a really big piece of breaking cycles or fixing bad habits can be from realizing why we do them. And yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to share that. I felt called to, and I really hope that that reaches somebody who is able to do something similar, or at least get started. It's not like as soon as I did that, everything was just super easy after, but it's been significantly different. Like, if I feel like I want to overconsume in any area of my life, I can now sit and breathe and feel the stillness and feel the emptiness and be okay with it and actually enjoy it and know that that's where my growth is happening. That's where good things happen, in the stillness. That's where you know, more positive things are able to come in when there is that stillness and that emptiness, and knowing that that is now such a gift to have. And I wanted to pass that on to anyone else who might need to hear it. So happy healing, friends. I hope you're all having a great night.